Hi friends, today I'm going to discuss about my project Simple PhotoSite in Ruby on Rails using SQLite database. Here I have developed a web application named PhotoSite where users post their photos and photos are commented by others. So in fact we can see the photos, the comments, the comment created time and who the comment was given by. Here I have two URLs, users index and the photos index slash ID. The first URL, users index, is the one where I get the list of users. On clicking on any one of the users' name, it directs me to the next URL, that is a photos index, photos slash index slash ID, which gives me the details about the photos, and it gives me another link called as a get comments. Once you click on get comments, you get the comments, the photo, and who it was commented by, and the comment created time. So now I'll go to the Ruby on Rails application. I'll show you how I created it. So in order to start, first you go on File, go to New Project. You type in the name of the project as PhotoSite instead of this, and then give create. So once you give the create, you have the PhotoSite project created with the similar structure as shown here. The first process is to create three model classes. So we have three model classes. They are user, photo, and comment. How do we create the user model classes? So to create the model classes, we go to tools, run Rails generator, type as model, and then enter the name as user. Similar way, you have to create it for photo and for comment. So once you create it, you can see under app, models, so we have three created ones called as the user, the photo, and the comment. So when they are created, along with the models, the migration files are also created automatically. They are the create photos, the create comments. So we'll these models and the migration files one by one. So the model classes generally have the associations in them. So here for the user model, I have So for the user model, I have has many photos and has many comments. So every user has many photos and every user has many comments. And for the photo, it belongs to one particular user and it has many comments. So a photo can be commented by many of them. And for the comment belongs to that particular user and the comment belongs to it is specific to a particular photo. So that's what it means. And now the migration files, the create users migration file. Here we create the database tables. So we give in the column names. So here the user ID is called as the primary key. It is done automatically. It is generated automatically. So the similar way, we have the first name and the last name. And for create photos, we have the user ID, the date, time, the file name. So the date, time, and the file name are for the photos. And the create controllers, we have a photo ID, user ID, comment text, and date time. The comment text is nothing but the comments that the users give, and the date time is nothing but the time and the date when the comment was created. So after this process, we first have to load the data. So loading data migration files, how do we do it is, we have to populate the database with data. So for that, you have to go to tools, run Rails generator, type as migration. So when you get the migration here, so you have to select it and then now you give a name called as load data and run it as the default environment and then you say okay. When you say okay, this file is here we populate the database using this. How do we populate this? We've copied the code as given by our professor. Understand one thing, that this is to populate the user table, this is to populate the photo table, and this is to populate the comment table. So the values are given by this way. So you just load the data initially. Next process to be done is we have to save all the images. Since we have images in our project, we have to save it under assets, images, just drag and drop all the images to this folder, copy it to them. Now we have to set up the DB and run all the migrations. So to do that, we have to go to Tools, Run Rake Task. So db.migrate. So you select db.migrate. It's going to migrate, like the data is all migrated, and then we have the database to be seen. You can see the database. So yeah, and you have to run it in the default ones, that is the development, and then select OK. So now in order to see your database, you have to go run the RubyMine database tool. So for that, we have to go to View, go to Tool Windows, and then go to Database. So once you click that, you can get this column to your right. Select this, select the plus symbol that's you're adding the database. So import from sources, and so here we already have done it. So when you don't have it, you'll have to add it with the name and a few properties. So now that the database is added, so we can just look at any of the databases. So this is how the photos database looks like, and this is how the comments database is like. So we have populated the database now. We have to implement controllers and views so that we can implement the URLs. So for that, we have to create the controllers class. How do we create the controller class? It is done by Tools, Run Rails Generator, as we did for models. So just go to controllers and put in controller name as user, photo, and comments. So once you create the controllers, we have 3 controllers here. So you have it as user, the photo, and the comment. So here, this is nothing but the variable name, and then here this is similar to the query which says select star from all users. So it's like select stars, so it's like all the users. And then photos, here again we specifying from where to pick the data. So we say where the ID is and we pass it as a parameter. And for the comments, we say comments where photo ID is. Similarly, we have to create views. So when views are created, you can see them as these. So in the views, we create the HTML files. So I created 3 HTML files, one for user, one for photo, and one for the comment here. Yeah. So the for the user, the HTML, it's how the page is going to be displayed. So we use the controller name and from where the photo has to be taken. So it's going to route it. So and then we have the photos view, and then we have the index for comment, and then we go for the routes file. So routes file can be found here. We have to change the direction, that's the route. So we have to change the configuration of it. So I have given 3 because I have 3 pages in my website. So when I give user index, so that's the URL. So it goes to user index. What this means is user is nothing but the controller name, and index is nothing but the method name inside the controller. So if you go to the user index, we have a, if you go to the user controller, we will be having a method called as index. So it's going to go call that. So that's what it basically means. And once you finish this process, you have to run the server. So to run the server, but before which I can just show the code once. So this is a user controller. This is a photo controller. This is the comment controller. And this is my model, which has the associations. And then this is my views page, which has the display information, the HTML file. And then I have migration files here. The that I have loaded the data. And this is my routes page where I have given the redirection configuration. So now to run the application, select development photo site, and you run it. So we are running the server basically right now. Yes, so the server is started up. So we go to run index. Yeah, so this is my first URL, and I have created this is a table that appears with which has the first name and the last name. So on clicking any of the first name, for example, Justin, it redirects us to the second URL as you see in the URL page. So it's the index where ID is equal to 1 because Justin Bieber's ID was 1. So here we have the photo displayed. The photo was created at, so we have that because we populated the database, it just retrieved from the database. And here we have another link which says get photo comments. Similarly, we have another photo, we have the date created and then the comments. So let's go to get photo comments. This is because this doesn't have any comment. So just go to this. So we again have the photos. It was commented by Justin Bieber and the comments and the commented at time. So this is the application. I learned Ruby on Rails well, so I understood the model view controller pattern. It was it was not a very easy task doing it. I faced a lot of errors. I googled up many of the errors one by one. Um, One of the main things for me was my database didn't show up properly first. So the user ID and the photo ID in comments table had random generated values. It didn't have these specific values. So I had to change some things in my load data file. Here it refers to the object. So I had to change few of these to get the database right. Um, that was the only difficulty that I had. Uh, it was very good working on this project. I learned a lot on Ruby on Rails. So thank you.